Hi, Karen. Good to see you. Hope you're having a good morning, and thank you for taking the time to meet with us before we present our prospect, Ted. And we're really hoping to seal the deal with him, and we're hoping that we move further along in the sales process. But before we get too excited and take up your time, it's best to go over our presentation with you. And we are clearly going to start off here with our introduction slide. John and I will both introduce ourselves and state that we are here on behalf of Sony Pictures. And then after introducing ourselves, we will move on to our agenda. On this slide, I will present him the layout of our presentation to give him an idea of where we're heading. This will allow him to see that we have a plan for the material we want to cover and that we value his time enough to be prepared and organized. And as you can see, I will go over the strategic vision that they have and their priority business goals, their needs, and then we'll move into the product description. We have a demonstration lined up for him as well. And then we'll touch on the marketing plan, the business proposition, and then we'll wrap it up with a summary of benefits. And once he is aware of the agenda, John will come in to talk about their strategic vision.
All right, so on this slide, yes, we have the strategic vision and the two priority business goals mentioned, but this is just kind of there to show that we've done our research. Obviously, Ted is going to know what these things are, but we're just showing this to tie it into the thing that we are selling him is considering about what Netflix's needs are and how we can best suit them. So Ted has mentioned in the past that what he's looking for in terms of acquiring content is he wants things that are attractive, that they are unique, that are going to be things other people don't have, because this will provide a competitive edge for Netflix over all the other streaming services that are out there, because there are a lot of them. And he wants it to be affordable too, because they are constantly buying things month after month, so they don't have like a huge amount of money that they can just blow on one package deal. And so this is when we go into what we are going to be selling him. So to break it down, it's going to be three things. The first thing is going to be the actual movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which was released about a year ago. It's the Brad Pitt, Leo DiCaprio movie that Quentin Tarantino directed. Then we are going to be selling him a package of 10 movies because Quentin Tarantino on his own time has gone and curated a 10-film list of his particular favorite films of the 60s that he looked at as had informed his creation of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which is set in the 60s. And then also, the third thing is that going along with each of the 10 60s films, because they are all Columbia Sony Pictures releases, Quentin Tarantino has recorded a conversation with the film critic Kim Howard, wherein they go and talk about each of these 10 movies, what they like about it, what they don't like about it, how it's filmed their creation of Quentin Tarantino's movie. So the package is going to be all three of these things. It'll be formatted, the 10 60s movies will be formatted as a series with the interviews interspaced, and then Once Upon a Time in Hollywood would just be its own separate licensing deal on the site. And then we will, to tell us to him, we'll be going through the fab features as part of our product value. One of the first ones being an example that it's an 11 movie deal, which means that this is going to be plenty of content to fill out Netflix's catalog, and this is going to reduce expenses for Ted because we're going to be able to give him a discount deal. And then so we'll ask if that sounds good to him with the trial close. And then another one will be that this is Quentin Tarantino's name attached to it, so it's got some celebrity name recognition, which means that that's the advantage of it, is that there'll be some notoriety attached to it, and this will increase subscribers from and will also increase viewership from people who are both casual movie fans and intense film buffs who will be able to recognize Quentin Tarantino's name in any situation. And we'll ask if that sounds good to him with trial close as well.
And after discussing the sell sequences we have created, we anticipate Ted might be a little skeptical and will bring up a concern. For example, he might say something like, the number of subscribers is important for me in the company, but I'm concerned that it will not attract as many subscribers like you say it will. And as we've learned from the sales training, I will handle this appropriately by first acknowledging his concern. I'll say, yes, I can see how worried you may be about the subscribers, and you don't think this will perform like it should? And he'll say something like, no, I'm still a little skeptical. And luckily for him, we have compiled together plenty of testimonies on this sheet that you can see for yourself. There are 8 statements picked from Rotten Tomatoes illustrating how much viewers like this movie. Each statement had a rating of 4 stars or above, and it really shows how much they really like movies. And just like past viewers have liked the movies, we anticipate that future viewers will want to see the movies as well. Have these testimonies shown that subscribers will want to see the series? And once we wrap up that trial close, we'll move further along into the presentation by starting our demonstration. When we wrap up this skeptical concern, we'll transition into the demonstration. We plan to have a trailer of the entire series, and the part we'll show to you today consists of the actors who star in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. They briefly touch on what the movie means to them and how excited they are to film the movie. how excited they were to film the movie. And then within this trailer, we have also incorporated reaction videos of Netflix subscribers. They're in there to show Ted that subscribers have a great desire to watch the series. We'll now play the video for you.
So in this movie, I play Cliff Booth. He's a retired stuntman with a checkered past. It's a very integral part of the film. I just want to say that I love shooting it, and just can't wait for everybody to check it out and see how sick it is.
Hi, it's me, Margot Robbie, and I'm just really excited about my new film, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. You guys should go check it out. I've got to work alongside some amazing actors, and it's just a really fun story. So yeah.
Hello, my name is Leonardo DiCaprio. I am the other star of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and I'd just like to say that I acted in this movie, and it was directed by Quentin Tarantino, the director, and I am a big star, so go see the movie. Appreciate it. Looks great to me. I'm definitely going to be checking it out.
I can already tell this is going to be such a fun film. I can't wait to see the way Margot Robbie and Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt really channel the time that this is set. You know, Hollywood 60s has a great vibe, and I just can't wait to see this film.
Looks great to me. Can't wait to get my paws on it.
Can't wait for this movie to come out, even though I'm only 7 and I don't know much about the 60s and Hollywood, but I can't wait to see the characters that are inside of it.
So now that you've seen the trailer video, and we hope you've enjoyed it as much as we did compiling it together, while the video is playing for Ted, I plan to ask certain questions. For example, like, did you see how happy that subscriber looked, or did you see the excitement in their eyes? And then when we plan to conclude the demonstration with a phone interview to implement participation on Ned's part, because we're going to have all of the subscribers in the video on a conference call, and then Ted will have the opportunity to ask them for their input. For example, he could ask them something like, do you really want this to land on the platform, or is this something you're really looking forward to? And now John will proceed to talk about the marketing plan.
All right, so assuming that we can send all the digital materials over as fast as possible, it should be available to put on your service by July 26th, because we've already pre-edited everything together, meaning the series and the interstitials. It's all one coherent series for you. And then we can have it released. This will be the 1-year anniversary of when Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was released in theaters. And since you guys can put it on the front page of Netflix, you should be able to immediately subtract viewers and new subscribers to come to watch it, because it'll be available and noticeable right away.
Now moving on to the business proposition, the feature we plan to highlight is the listing price. We state that the price is $5 million, and this is originally half off what it would be, so it's at a reduced price for them. And pricing a series like this is strategic because they will have the opportunity to have more cash available within their budget to do as they wish. And this is a great price, and we hope it will sit well with them. But per usual, we expect that there might be a concern, such as a drawback, concerning the pricing. He has spent tons of money on content in the past. For example, he spent $100 million on Friends, and we do not want to put him through that same experience. And so both of us would expect something like, I can't afford to pay that price because it wouldn't fit within our content budget. And like before, I will handle this in the most professional way possible. Price is a common concern, and I see your point of view. To be clear, the price is too large. He'll say something like, yeah, I just don't know how I can make the numbers work to acquire the licensing rights. And I'll proceed to ask him to indulge me for a few moments because I want to highlight how important this series is for everyone involved. And he'll hopefully allow me to continue, and I'll state, this series is important because it was Tarantino's inspiration for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Had those 10 movies not been created, he would not have been inspired to create the Oscar-nominated film. And we all receive inspiration in our lives, And we love to impart our inspiration onto others so they understand us better. For example, had I not taken a sales class back in my university, I would not have been inspired to pursue a sales career today. And not to mention, I would not have been here with Ted today. There are stories that need to be told and shared with the world, and they build off one another. If subscribers can witness how much of an inspiration this is, then they will be able to appreciate Once Upon a Time in Hollywood even more than they realize. Ted will proceed to say something like, I know what you're saying. Like, had I not started working at Blockbuster and gotten involved with movie rentals, I would not have been a part of Netflix. And I'll thank him for indulging me. And since he has a grasp on the bigger picture, I want to remind him of the benefits. I will proceed to summarize the benefits for him, and he will gladly allow me to do so. And first, I want to highlight the first benefit being that the number of subscribers will increase because they see the series and they know how much of an impact it is, how much of an impact it will have. The second benefit will be that the subscribers' loyalty will increase as well because they see that Netflix is providing great content to them. And lastly, the benefit more likely than not is most important to them is the fact that they will not have to spend as much money on this series, thus reducing their expenses to grant them the freedom to use the savings as they see fit. I will ask him, are these benefits worth the price to you? And he will say, yeah, I think these benefits do outweigh the price. And I will say, I'm glad that he sees the value. And from here, we will wrap up the presentation and ask for our closing. For example, I will state, or I will ask him after participating in a discussion, do you think we can move further along in the sales process?
And that will be it. Thanks so much.